So, what is a brand really? It's not a logo, it's not an identity, and honestly, it's not even a product. A brand is a person's gut feeling about a product, a service, or an organization. It lives in the minds of your audience, you know? It's what they think and feel when they hear your name. Great brands don't just sell things, they create emotional experiences that stick with you. Think about Apple for a second. You don't just think of a computer, right? You feel something about innovation, simplicity, and creativity. That feeling, that's the brand. It's the intangible sum of all those small interactions a person has with you. It's a reputation, built one customer at a time. A strong brand acts as a shortcut for decision-making. In a world cluttered with choices, we naturally gravitate toward what we know and trust. Your brand is that mental shortcut. It tells people what to expect from you. It's a promise of quality, a symbol of a certain lifestyle, or a beacon of shared values. When a customer chooses your brand, they're not just buying a product, they're buying into that promise. They're aligning themselves with what you represent. And this is why a brand is your company's most valuable asset. It's the source of your competitive advantage, a barrier that's really difficult for others to replicate. The real magic happens when a brand connects on an emotional level. People make decisions with their hearts, then justify them with their minds. A brand that only talks about features and benefits is just speaking to the logical brain. It's forgettable. But a brand that tells a story, that evokes a feeling, that stands for something bigger, that's a brand that captures the heart. It builds a relationship. This relationship transforms a simple transaction into a meaningful interaction. It turns a one-time buyer into a lifelong advocate who feels like they're part of something special, something they can believe in. This journey from a simple product to a beloved brand is intentional. It's not an accident. It requires a deep understanding of who you are and who you serve. It requires a strategic framework that aligns every single touchpoint, from your name and logo to your customer service and advertising. It's about creating a unified and compelling experience that resonates with people on a fundamental human level. This is the gap between strategy and creativity, between logic and magic. When we bridge this gap, we don't just build a business, we build a brand that people can't resist. To build a brand with a clear personality, we can use a powerful tool: archetypes. These are universal patterns of character that we all understand instinctively. Think of the hero, the sage, or the rebel. These characters have appeared in stories for thousands of years, from ancient myths to modern movies. By choosing an archetype for your brand, you give it a personality that people can immediately recognize and connect with. This isn't about putting on a costume. It's about uncovering the authentic character that already exists at the core of your company. It gives you a clear voice and a consistent way to behave. Let's look at some examples. Nike is the classic hero. Its messaging is all about overcoming obstacles, pushing limits, and achieving greatness. Just Do It is a hero's call to action. It inspires us to be the hero of our own story. On the other hand, Google is the sage. It exists to provide wisdom, knowledge, and truth. Its clean, simple interface promises a direct path to information. The sage doesn't need to be flashy. Its value lies in its expertise and reliability. These brands don't have to explain their personality over and over. Their archetype does the heavy lifting for them. Another powerful archetype is the rebel, embodied by brands like Harley-Davidson or Virgin. The rebel craves revolution and wants to overturn what isn't working. Harley-Davidson doesn't sell motorcycles. It sells freedom from the constraints of society. It's for the outsider, the nonconformist. This archetype instantly attracts a specific tribe of people who share that same desire to break the rules. By choosing an archetype, you're not limiting your brand. You're focusing it. You're giving it a clear role to play in the lives of your customers, making it more memorable and meaningful. Choosing your archetype is a foundational step. It informs everything else you do. It guides your tone of voice, your visual design, your product innovation, and your marketing campaigns. Is your brand the creator, driven to build things of enduring value like Lego? Or is it the caregiver, motivated by compassion to help others like Johnson & Johnson? By defining your brand's character, you create a clear roadmap for how it should think, act, and communicate. This consistency is what builds a believable and trustworthy personality that people will come to know and love. Once you know your brand's character, you need to bring it to life. This starts with a great name. A name is the hook on which you hang your brand. The best names are simple, memorable, and meaningful. They should be easy to say, easy to spell, and hint at the brand's essence. Think of Amazon. The name suggests vastness and scale, a river of everything, perfectly aligning with its mission. A clunky, confusing, or generic name forces your brand to work much harder to be remembered. Your name isn't just a label, it's the first word in your brand's story. That story is the vehicle for emotion. Facts and figures don't inspire loyalty, but stories do. Your brand's story isn't just your company history. It's the narrative that explains why you exist, what you believe in, and how you want to change the world for your customers. Patagonia's story isn't just about selling outdoor gear. It's a story of environmental activism, of loving wild places so much that you're willing to fight for them. This narrative gives customers a reason to believe. It transforms a purchase into a statement of identity. They're not just buying a jacket, they're joining a cause. To make your story powerful, you need to use emotional triggers. These are the words, images, and ideas that tap into fundamental human desires and fears. Brands that connect deeply understand what drives their audience. Dove's Real Beauty campaign triggered a powerful emotional response by tapping into the desire for self-acceptance and challenging narrow beauty standards. It wasn't about soap. It was about confidence and self-worth. These triggers create a strong bond, making the brand feel like an ally who truly understands the customer's inner world. When your name, story, and emotional triggers all work together, they create a powerful and cohesive message. The name introduces the character. The story gives it depth and purpose. And the emotional triggers make that story resonate on a personal level. This is how brands move from being a choice to being a part of someone's life. They stop talking about what they sell and start talking about what they stand for. They create a world that customers want to belong to, a narrative they want to be a part of. This is the essence of irresistible branding. Design is not just decoration, it's the silent language of your brand. Before a customer reads a single word, they see your logo, your colors, and your typography. This visual system communicates your brand's personality in an instant. Is it modern and minimalist or warm and traditional? Is it bold and energetic or calm and sophisticated? Every design choice is a piece of communication. Think of the iconic Tiffany & Company blue box. That specific shade of blue isn't just a color. It's a promise of elegance, quality, and a special moment. It communicates the brand's essence without saying a word. Your logo is the cornerstone of this visual language. A great logo is a symbol that is simple, distinct, and appropriate for your brand's character. The Nike swoosh is a masterpiece of simplicity. It conveys motion, speed, and victory in a single, fluid mark. It's so recognizable that it often appears without the company name. The design of your logo and overall visual identity should be a direct reflection of your chosen archetype and strategy. A brand that claims to be simple and user-friendly, like Google, needs a design that is clean, uncluttered, and intuitive. The visual evidence must support the brand's claim. Beyond the logo, every visual element matters. The fonts you use, the style of photography you choose, the layout of your website, they all work together to create a unified look and feel. This system is what makes a brand instantly recognizable across different platforms. When you see the bold red and dynamic script of Coca-Cola, you know it immediately, whether it's on a can, a billboard, or a social media post. This consistency in design is crucial. It creates a sense of familiarity and reliability, which are the building blocks of trust. Inconsistency, on the other hand, creates confusion and undermines the brand. Ultimately, design is the tangible expression of your brand's strategy. It's how you make your brand's promise visible and felt. Good design clarifies your message and makes your brand more desirable. It can influence how a customer feels about your product before they even use it. It's not about following trends. It's about creating a timeless and authentic visual system that perfectly captures who you are. When your design speaks the same language as your story and your actions, you create a seamless and powerful brand experience that people will remember. We've talked about character, story, and design. The final critical element that ties everything together is consistency. A brand that constantly changes its message, its look, or its tone of voice is like a person you can't rely on. It feels untrustworthy. Consistency across all touch points, from your advertising to your packaging to your customer service interactions, is what builds trust. When customers know what to expect from you every single time, they feel secure. This reliability turns casual buyers into loyal customers. Trust is the foundation upon which all great brands are built. This consistency must extend to your brand's tone of voice. The way you speak should match your brand's personality. An adventurous brand like Red Bull uses an energetic, exciting, and daring tone. A brand focused on comfort and care, like Dove, uses a voice that is gentle, supportive, and empathetic. Your tone of voice isn't just about the words you choose, it's about the rhythm, the attitude, and the personality that comes through in all your communications. When your voice is consistent with your archetype and your visual identity, you create a brand that feels whole and authentic. When you achieve this level of consistency, something amazing happens. Your brand stops being just a seller of goods and starts becoming a symbol for an idea. This is when customers transform into a tribe of loyal fans. These are people who don't just buy your products. They believe in what you stand for. They wear your logo as a badge of honor. They feel a sense of belonging and community with other people who love the brand. This is the difference between having customers and having a following. A following is built on shared values and emotional connection, not on discounts or promotions. The most powerful brands in the world become movements. They stand for something bigger than what they sell. Apple stands for challenging the status quo. Patagonia stands for protecting our planet. Nike stands for unlocking human potential. These brands have built such a deep level of trust and emotional resonance that they inspire people. They give their tribe a flag to rally around. This is the ultimate goal of branding, to create a brand that is so meaningful to people that it becomes a part of their own identity. When you do that, you haven't just built a brand people can't resist. You've built a brand that matters.